You're listening to Happy Hour Hustle from the creative geniuses here at 834. We're funny, informative, and we swear. We talk all things marketing, communications, small business, plus we offer up hot takes on our industry, and whatever else we feel like talking about. So, grab your drink of choice. It's always 5 o'clock at 834. And crank it up. Hey, hustlers! Welcome back to another episode. We have Emily here, a resident intern who is leaving us, but that's fine. It's okay. She's moving on to greener pastures, aka the Chicagoland area.
Yeah. We love Chicago.
We love Chicago.
Two Chicagoland girlies. Not
just
Naperville.
Just here in Michigan. We also have Potato here, our latest rescue
we found him on the street today.
On the street. But, you know, he's just chilling. He seems sweet, and we definitely think he has an owner. But
stay tuned to see if Potato has a family.
Stay tuned next time. You probably will by the time this airs,
hopefully.
But it's okay. We're hoping. So today we want to talk a little bit about the prep work that goes into landing an internship, landing a job. Emily obviously landed an internship pretty recently, so she has firsthand experience in this. So Emily, I first just want you to kind of walk through what you did to get this position.
Yeah, so I went to the GVSU career fair, and unfortunately I went to the later half of it. So when I got there, all the recruiters were like so tired of talking to people. And then when I met the 834 recruiter, Elena at the time, she was exhausted, and I could just recognize it. And I was like, you must have talked to so many people today. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yes, I did. And I was like, is there just any information? Like, I'm super interested. Anything I can follow up with, any events? Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, there's actually like a happy hour in a couple weeks. You should definitely come, bring your friends. I was like, okay, perfect. And then I think the happy hour was in like November.
Something like that.
And I had met you as well. And yeah, I came with a friend, had a really good time, and met everyone basically at 834. Mm-hmm. It was super cool. I got to walk around, and people were like, guess which offices are ours? And it was just like, I was like, these are so cute. This would be so amazing. Yeah. And then when I saw Elaine again, I was like, hey, any chance there's like a position for an internship opening up? And she's like, not at the moment, but you can feel free to submit your application. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? I'll do it. Like, might as well.
Also, mind you, the thing that really stuck out when Emily applied is she showed us this like spreadsheet of coffee places that she tried.
Oh,
it was so wild. I mean, like more than anything, I mean, and you interviewed well and blah, blah. You did all the other things, but more than anything, we're like, well, that was really cool.
Really? That's so funny. Yeah, my personal hobby is rating all the coffee shops in Grand Rapids. I think I have like 32. There may be more. But that's so funny.
There's the new one. Have you put the new one on there?
I have.
You have? Okay.
So maybe 33.
Okay.
But I had met like your family at the happy hour event too. Mm-hmm. And then the way that when I saw you at the interview, I was like, oh my gosh, like I spoke to your husband about going to Cornerstone. Like that's so crazy. And you're like, how do you remember that?
It's the little things that matter.
I don't actually know why I remembered everything, but
probably because he gave you a hard time about going to Calvin.
Yeah, Cornerstone people are funny. But it was still a good time. And yeah, so then I applied in like late November probably. And the application was like kind of thorough. Mm-hmm. And I remember reading all the details and being like, okay, if I'm going to submit this, I need to do this the right way.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to compile all the information and make sure that was good. But I submitted it. I was like, maybe nothing will come of it. Mm-hmm. But that was just like an hour or two out of my time. Mm-hmm. And then a month like later, I get an email from Elena being like, hey, would you be interested in interviewing? I was like, oh, I'd love to. Mm-hmm. And then I got to come on like a weekday in the office when you guys were all here, meet everyone, had a really good interview, just like a really casual conversation, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And then I got to find out that I got the job about a week later. So, yeah.
Well, and I think one of the things you said that is so important is you talked to someone that worked here, they told you to do a thing, and then you did that thing, and then you talked to people there, and then followed up and did the things they said. Like, sometimes it really is as easy as just following the instructions.
You know what's great about 834 is that we have instructions. Like,
they're literally on the website.
They were on the website. I read, like, 834's blogs about how to get the job. And I read Kim's like personal blog as well about things to do to succeed. So when I rolled up to the interview, I had all the samples printed. Even though I had emailed them, I didn't expect people to like pull them out. So I could virtually pull them out, and, you know, copies of my resume, even at the interview, just so like you have it on hand.
Yeah. And I will say very much props to people I've interviewed recently. I feel like everyone did a good job of at least vetting the website and saying, like, I like this and that. And it's, I mean, even if you only do it for like 15 minutes, it's still important, which you went the extra mile in reading the blogs and stuff. I think it's good to be able to point to that, or like, I noticed you worked with this client. I mean, it's marketing, so market yourself.
I remember stalking everyone on the website, so when I got to the office, I'd be like, oh my gosh, hi, Maddie.
And I'm like, weird, stalker.
That's weird. I was like, we totally met before.
No, that's awesome. So I do want to talk a little bit about some of the biggest mistakes in your mind that you see from maybe people that you're going through the process with right now, or just in general that you've seen, like, I don't know, on TikTok or what the kids use these days.
The kids.
But like, what are some of the big mistakes or things that you think people do wrong are?
Based off of my knowledge, it might be like the copy and paste of a cover letter. Of course, people who are applying know that you are also applying to a lot of jobs. But it's kind of nice when you can personalize it and make sure that you're not just giving them the same generic thing. I know in the past that's what in interviews I've been told is like, we loved your cover letter. And I was like, oh, really? Like, but it's just because I managed to like put a real intro in the front explaining what I know would be good for the industry that you are in.
Right.
And then giving little details about myself, but not too much, just so you're kind of waiting for more details.
Yeah. And I think you can really personalize it too, to wherever the place is. And that's what counts. I mean, you can read our website and immediately know we're more casual. So yeah, you can do a more laid back, fun, in the tone that we are providing, where like you might not do that for a different job.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things I've noticed, which again, like I know there's people that just click like apply on Indeed and that's, you know, whatever. But in my mind, that very much signifies, well, they don't really want this job. They just want like a job, and like they're not following the instructions, which, you know, bigger agencies, there's a whole team that does hiring. We're not a big team, and you could tell that by looking at our website. So we are doing the hiring and all the work. So like when I'm taking the hours out of my day to review applications and reach out and set up interviews, I think you need to be kind of mindful as the person applying to that. And if you don't follow the initial instructions, in my mind, that's you saying like, well, I don't really care.
Yeah. And like the biggest thing I learned here was the importance of thank yous, like being like grateful for people's time. Because I also like grew up in a small business family. I mean, like their time is so valuable because they are so like limited in maybe like the amount of time they can spend with one individual person. So after my interview, just sending a quick email being like, thank you, like it was so like great talking to you, and just kind of like grabbing the email addresses off the website of people that I perchance have spoken to, and just
and I think, you know, obviously you can't do that with every place, or, you know, some people say like, don't email us outside of the, you know, but I will say like when I reach out for interviews, I do with my personal email, or just being grateful of the time. And I think we try to do that in exchange too. We don't want to, you know, leave people hanging for too long. I always try to provide timelines saying like, you can expect me to reach out by this day. Because I know I recently went, I mean, not super recently, but I went through that job application process, and there are places that will leave you hanging for a while, and that's really frustrating. So I think just on both sides of it, being courteous of people's time, and like when there's instructions given, like provide samples
the instructions
or answer these questions. Like it's literally the least you could do is following the instructions.
It's literally the least you could do.
There's so much more, and people do go way out of their way. But yeah, I do want to talk a little bit too about what you think your generation, or like the people coming out of college now applying, do really well when it comes to applications or the interview process too.
I think people do a really good job, again, with like the personalization, but also like finding your niche. Like there are so many things that you can be invested in right now, and being kind of clear in like your own personal branding. Like these are the things that I'm passionate about. Even if it's not super relevant to the job, it's still like super fun to know, like my coffee shop quirk maybe that came out in the interview. And then we like talk about it and stuff like that, like showcasing things that you're proud of, both professionally and personally, is really cool. And I think our generation does a good job of like putting that out for people to see. And like either they have like people might each have their own websites, which I think is super impressive. I don't, but I have a LinkedIn, which seems to be the bare minimum for people.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like really investing in those platforms too, like your LinkedIn, your socials, stuff like that.
Yeah, I do think what I noticed that people do really well is having all of that very carefully set up and curated. I feel like when I was going through school, I mean, like, I made my LinkedIn to apply for jobs. But I just think that the process of doing that, people are ahead of it. And then also asking really good questions. I've had quite a few students reach out for advice on things, and I think that's so important. And for the most part, like, you'll find places that are friendly to that. And like, a lot of students go to like WMPRSA and going to these events. And so I think the people that do that are, you know, just leaps and bounds ahead of.
Yeah.
Right?
Just showing up is so important, because I almost did not go to that GVSU career fair. I was late. I was running late for a thing, and I was like, why would I even go if I'm only going for the last 45 minutes?
Right.
But it still changed the trajectory of my college experience.
Right.
So just show up to
Just
things.
show up.
Yeah. You never know who you'll meet.
All right, let's talk interview do and don'ts. Do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
I said that right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with the do's. What are things that you think are musts when you're walking into an interview that you've learned throughout your interviewing process?
I think your outfit is important. Maybe that's just me, but like kind of matching the vibe. Like if it's, pay attention if it's like business casual and you don't want to show up like super overdressed. Like if I came wearing a suit to the office, it would be really out of place kind of. So just like being nice, casual, if you know that's what the vibe is. But if it's like business professional, you better roll up in a suit. Like at the career fair, everyone was in a suit. So just being like super mindful of those things as well. And they do leave an impression, even though people say it doesn't.
I would say more than anything, if someone is way underdressed, that would leave more of an impression on me than if they're way overdressed. Like if they're overdressed, I'm like, oh, cool. Like,
yeah, cool.
That's great. Good to see. If they're way underdressed, I'm like, what? Like, did you just roll out of bed? Like, I don't know. And yeah, it's just like, I mean, they've been saying it forever, dress for the job you want, right?
Dress for the job. That's right.
I think that's super important. Another do is do your homework ahead of time.
Yep.
I would say walking in and being able to say at least, like, maybe for marketing, the last few social posts, or if you're going for a corporate job, like maybe look into the initiatives they did and say, hey, like the fact that you're a sustainable group is really important to me, or the fact that you really support diversity initiatives, or the fact that you do X, Y, and Z. Like that's something that I think interviewers really love to hear, because at least even if you're just trying to like blow smoke up their ass, like I don't know, like look good.
I love your website.
Right, but like I think even doing that is showing that you put effort into it.
Yes. Putting the effort in, current events, knowing what's going on in the world. Printed samples of your work is really nice.
Yeah, whenever someone has something in person, I'm always pretty impressed.
Even if like I sent over everything digitally, I still brought a printed copy just because you're not gonna have that pulled up. Right. And just be like, oh, this is some of my work samples. And I sent you a digital copy just in case. Yeah. And also you could also bring your laptop. Like, I mean, I forgot who I was talking to, but it was a designer. But they were saying, like, I do digital design. So when I go on interviews, I bring my iPad and show the digital designs I do, because that makes more sense than something printed out. Because you're trying to get a certain job. So you do the things that lend itself more to that. Right. I think that's important. And then, you know, the dumb ones, but like be on time. Be on time. Yeah. Be on time. Be courteous. I would say for me, like, send a thank you. I know I always do that. I think that's what my generation doesn't do, is like Kimberly, like she taught us about like personal writing like a physical
sending a letter.
Note. Yeah. And I was like, I never thought about doing that. And I was like, that's so cool. Why am I not sending more notes to people?
Well, and it's what's really cool about it too, which is how I think about it, is you get so many emails in a day. Yeah. Especially if you're applying for like a marketing, like know that the email you sent is one of 200 I'm getting that day. So, but if you send a note, it's probably like maybe the only one I'm getting that day. Maybe the only letter. Potatoes.
He's being so cute.
Oh my God. This dog is adorable.
I hope you have a family.
I mean, he smells nice.
You do. He does.
He smells like he's been groomed recently.
We'll find your family.
All right. Well, we're sidetracked. Okay, let's do don'ts. What do you not do?
Don't show up late.
It's the opposite of everything we just said.
Yeah. Don't not look at the website.
Yeah. I would also say, and this might be a me thing more than an in general thing, but if I give you a timeline of like, hey, I'm going to let you know within like the next 2 weeks, and you email me like the thank you, and then you email me every day leading up to it, like, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't. I know you're really eager, but especially if you're
yes.
given like a timeline of response, like, oh my God, that's so much.
Yeah. Don't bother them.
I mean, like, I don't want to sound ungrateful. Like, I appreciate the taking of the time, but it really does feel like a lot.
Yeah. That goes back to the small business thing. Like, you have a lot on your plate.
Yeah, and that's just being mindful of that. Like, I don't have a person that sifts through all the emails. Like, can I do that?
No, that's
I'm the one setting my schedule. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, just opposite of the things we said before.
Maybe if it's a dog-friendly office, bring your dog to make sure they mesh well.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's so true.
Make sure your dog's a good fit for the office.
Yeah. The other thing I want to touch on is just having some kind of answers prepped to stuff. I know you can't guess interview questions unless you're like us and literally put like some listed interview questions on the website.
Curveballs, yeah.
Like I know that happens, but when I was applying for jobs, I mean, I practiced all the time about questions that I thought I'd be asked.
Yeah.
And even if it's not spot on every time.
Yeah.
At least you are prepared for that. And that'll just keep you from rambling. I think there's a certain amount of grace that I provide everyone that I interview because I'm like, you're probably going to be nervous.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't care if you stumble. You're nervous. That's totally okay. People get nervous. But just knowing that you're going to be asked questions like, if you applied for a marketing job, like, tell me about a successful marketing technique you used and the results from it.
Yeah.
Like, have something ready. It'll help you.
Or your favorite brand. Like, have that on lock.
Yes.
Because I would, like, the first couple times I was asked, I was like, oh, I've never thought about this before. I was like, do I have a favorite brand? I'm in marketing. I should probably have a favorite brand.
Or, like, the branding that you appreciate.
Yeah.
A cool campaign you've seen. Or, like, if you're in the digital space, what are your thoughts on AI usage?
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably something you're going to get asked in every interview.
That's right.
So just kind of the foresight of seeing those things. And there's so many resources online you can look up to. And it'll just help you in the long run. I mean, that's just more advice than anything. I'm not saying people haven't seemed prepared in interviews I've done, but, like, I practiced a lot.
I fear I did not.
Well, now you know. No, but, and it also is your comfort level in those kind of situations, too. Like, if you know you're someone that gets tongue-tied or forgets, like, having those things ready to go. Yeah. And I would also even say, if you bring, like, physical copies of stuff, like, it's okay to have some, like, notes with you or, like, a virtual, like, okay.
Yeah, I had a notebook. I was writing things down because I was just like, I'm going to leave this interview and I'm going to be like, wait, what did they say? How many days are they in office? Yeah. So, yeah, it's nice to take notes.
And do have questions prepped.
Yes. Have questions. Even if it's, like, little things like how many hours, like, it's just good. It's good
to have questions prepped. It also, I think,
even if
makes
you know
it
the
feel
answer.
more even of like the conversation back, even if you know the answer to it, right? But like questions about culture are always good. Makes you feel like they're more interested in that sort of thing. Yeah,
I'm very interested in the culture.
What do you think, Potato? Potato doesn't know.
He's asleep.
Potato doesn't know. All right. Well, I think I have all the questions I wanted to ask you. Do you have any questions for me? Any last words?
I feel like I'm supposed to now because we just talked about having questions.
It's a trap.
No, I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yeah. Well, good advice. Emily, thank you for your words of wisdom.
Thank you, Maddie, for your time.
I'll send a note.
I'll send a note, too.
All right. From Maddie and Emily and Potato. He's not a barker.
He's not.
All right, hustlers. We'll catch you in the download.